Yo, today let's talk about making some great thumbnails for your YouTube videos. Let's get brutal. Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy, the Buddhatron, and today I'm gonna show you how I make my thumbnails for my YouTube videos. In this video, we're gonna be using Photoshop. Before I know I made this video with GIMP, I don't like that app. I just can't get used to it. I prefer Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop, you can try it for free. If you're a student, even if you're not a student, you can get the student deal for Photoshop, which I'd recommend, but it's 10 bucks a month. Best purchase you'll ever make. Let's get into this. We're in Photoshop here and we've made a new project, and you always make your thumbnails 1280 by 720, so a 720p image basically, and that's gonna be your canvas size. And you see here, I've just thrown on a photo that I've taken of myself. I would strongly recommend you just pose for a photo and take a photo of yourself. Use your smartphone, use a camera that you have. Do not just take a screen grab from your video. It looks a lot better when you take an actual photo. So I've made 2 layers of the same photo, so I've just copied the photo in twice. And the reason for that is because I like to add depth to the background. The old way of me doing it is I would literally just take the eraser tool and I would erase the photo until I got as close to the edge around me as possible. And this whole process would probably take me about 5 to 10 minutes. So I would keep shrinking down the eraser and I'd zoom in, and then I would just get as close as I could to crop myself out of the photo as I possibly could. What's crazy, there's this new feature in Photoshop where it does this in like seconds. So I'm gonna duplicate that layer again. I'm only gonna have this top layer selected. Check this out. So I've got the top layer selected. I'm gonna choose this button right here. So let's zoom in. So it's called the object selection tool. We're gonna click on that, and then you got these 2 buttons at the top here. So we're gonna choose select subject. Check that out. It automatically is aware and like crops me out of this photo. So we're gonna choose that and then select and mask, and then boom, it's already masked out here. So let's adjust this a little bit. I've already tried this a couple of times and it just automatically does this, which is fine. Try to get as close as we can, and then boom, it just chops that part out. But you know what? I'm gonna keep that part in anyway. So we are going to choose layer mask and then hit OK. And then there we go, it's already taken me out. So what's cool with this now is that when we make this layer visible again, we can add an added layer of depth to this photo. So now with this image in the background, we can choose like a filter like blur. I'm gonna choose blur and then Gaussian blur. And then check that out. So it blurred out my background even more, and it just makes me stand out a lot more in this image. I know that's kind of self-centered, but you kind of want the focus to be on you. So now we've added a little bit more depth. And you know what? You could even add an additional layer, put it in between you and the background layer, and let's give it a little bit of color. So I'm going to choose the object tool. Let's make like a big rectangle. I don't want it to be white. Let's change it to like pink, okay? And then all we do is we just adjust the opacity. And look how cool that looks already. So it's just like putting a little bit of a filter on the background image. You stand out a lot more. And then now we can add our text on top of this. So we're gonna throw on some text. Always pick like a really bold font like Impact. I like Impact as a font for titles. All right, so we've picked out our font here. So you want like your don't buy this or whatever taggy item you want. So remember, you don't have to put the same words that are in your title in your thumbnail. You want something that's eye-catching or something that people want to click on. A good tip is whatever video you want to make, go on YouTube, search for that video, and look at the thumbnails that come up first. Make sure your thumbnail stands out amongst those. I would do that by choosing a color that's opposite of the most common color, and then that way it really sticks out and it's something that people want to click on. So you might look at this and be like, oh, this looks pretty good. There's ways that we can step it up just a little bit more. So let's start with the font here. So what I always do is I just duplicate this layer as well. and then I make the top layer not visible, and then I select the font below it. I'm sure there's a faster way to do this, but this is the way that I do it. And I make that font black, and then I make the top layer visible again. I select the below layer, and then I just use my cursor keys here, and then I just move the bottom font a little bit. So that gives it that 3D kind of shadow effect. Again, there's probably an easier way to do this. If you know it, put it in the comments below. It would help me out a lot. Cool, so we got the don't buy this. We got me in the photo. What else can we do to spice this up? So there's some other things that you can do. This was actually on a Peter McKinnon video, and he did this, which totally works. You can just add a new layer. So we're gonna add a top layer. We're gonna use the brush tool, and in our new layer, let's zoom out here. You're gonna make the brush super ginormous. So you can just make this brush insane, and you want the hardness to be like not that much. And you just pick whatever color, and then just kind of boom. So if we up that hardness to 100% and we do that, it just adds like a full color, and that looks stupid. So you want to take the hardness and put it all the way down to like 5 or 10%. And then what that does is it kind of just adds, it's almost like you have like a color light glowing on you. And you just put that in one of the corners. So you don't want to put it on the corner that has the text, because then you get that. So you want to put it on the opposite end. And that could be what's casting the purple light or the pinkish light on your background. So check that out right there. So think of what we had before, and then look at what we have now. One final thing that you should do is you should up the saturation of the photo. The reason why is because when you put these on mobile devices, it really takes away a lot of the saturation already. So I already take down the saturation of my camera so I can up it in post later. But when you don't add any saturation and then you have it on a smaller device, your picture's gonna look even more dull. So you wanna add a lot of saturation, even if it looks like it's too much, and that way your thumbnail will really pop on smaller devices. Woo! All right, so I hope after this you feel like you can make better thumbnails for your YouTube videos. I'm really excited to see what you guys can come up with. Tell me down in the comments below what you currently use to make your thumbnails, or even if you have an idea for a video that you would like me to make for another how-to or any kind of tutorial. I'd be interested to see what you guys say. If you found this helpful, check out some of these other videos where I walk you through how to do things. Yeah, I'm gonna head out of here. Just do me one last favor. Have yourself a great day. Cheers, everybody.